Good evening and welcome back tonight. Hopefully, you had a great week last week, and hopefully, this week was just as good. The plan here is we're going to discuss six laws of maturity. And six laws of maturity, I'm going to get right into it, is stop telling people everything. Most people don't care. Some secretly want you to fail. The second law is choose your friends wisely. The fastest way to become better is to surround yourself with better people. The third thing is expect nothing and appreciate everything. Be grateful for the little things in your life to find inner peace. Four, do your best and trust the process. The harder you work, the luckier you get. Five, control yourself, not others. Controlling others is strength. Controlling yourself is true power. Six, learn to react less. When you control your reactions, nobody can manipulate you. Those are the six uh, laws of maturity. There's probably a few more, but those are the ones we're going to talk about, and I'm going to take them one at a time. And share with you. It's good to have things in one place so that you can refer back to them. So, six laws of maturity. Law one: stop telling people everything. That is, I found that to be very true because everybody uh, may not be happy with what you're going. Because here's the principle in that: we don't see the world as it is; we just see the world as we are. And if we look at this, if we look at each other's situation, you can say, wow, you're doing that again. Or, I know my wife and I were traveling and, we, we had some friends say, oh, y'all still in China? It's like, nah, we're not. We weren't in China. We were in Japan. And I had to correct them a couple of times. And then I thought to myself, uh, some of them say, well, what's the difference? China, Japan? Yeah, it's a big difference, believe me. If you know someone that's Chinese, you don't want to mistake them for Japanese. Japanese don't want to be mistaken for Chinese. Chinese don't want to be mistaken for Japanese. And each ethnicity has their own right to identify themselves the way they want to. And there is a difference. It really is. And so we respect that. But the irony in that, and why I'm mentioning that, is because again, people don't see the world as it is; they see the world as they are. They may feel like, why are you doing that again? It doesn't make sense. And believe me, if you did things to make sense to other people, you probably wouldn't be doing that much because a lot of stuff has to line up. And quite frankly, it's one of those things where I have to say, hey, if you put your heads together, whether you're married, going with someone, or even going by yourself, if you put in your head and heart that's what you want to do, you should do it. You checked out all the facts, and you planned the things. So definitely, not telling everyone because sometimes when you tell someone something, you may be a little bit premature in telling them, and all your plans haven't come together. So you want to be respectful of that, and if you're in the planning stage, that's okay. Your plan, your vision, and your connection with the source, true higher power, God of your understanding, um, your your secret companion, if you will, helping you to put everything together. So, telling people everything may not be a good thing, especially in the beginning, or especially if you haven't ironed out all the details, because they're again, a lot of people don't see the world as it is. Quite frankly, they see the world as they are, and that's okay too. It is exactly what their perspective, and that's fine. And a lot of times, if you are planning a thing, a situation, or doing something, you usually have to plan it in such a way that You don't need a lot of input from other people because again, uh, majority of the people, some or most people, I'll say, uh, don't see the world as is. They see the world as they are, and that's okay too. You know, each one teach one, each one reach one, and we have the ability to change our lives one day at a time. So the other thing we want to talk about, choose your friends wisely. The fastest way to become better is to surround yourself with better people. Better people leads to better choices. Better choices lead to better results. Better results lead to better opportunities. And if you surround yourself with people who are going places and been places, then you have a chance to join them or enhance their travel as they go through and come to, and you know, you have that ability, you know, when you choose better friends and stuff. It's a thing where, and here's the interesting thing, you know, your network or where you're at, if you think about this from a lens of, you know, we are who we around. It definitely creates a place where we can learn and grow together. You know, as they used to say, I heard a quote quite a while ago: "If you're the sharpest knife in the drawer, time to get a new drawer." So I'll say it like that. So and that's okay as well. So I have to remember that and choosing better friends, and not that you trying to um, to you know uh, have a superior attitude or anything like that. But change should be good and should be warranted, and it does help you each other. Each one teach one, each one reach one. And but if we're not going anywhere and we want to stay on the same, stay in the same. Stay in the same kind of paradigm, then you know you're not ready for a paradigm shift. You're happy with the paradigm you're at, and that's okay. Again, it's not about it's not about maintaining continuity with where you're at. It's more about having a vision and moving forward, and that vision starts and ends with you. So that's what we'll say about that. Uh, expect nothing and appreciate everything. This is a big one. Gratitude with your attitude, no matter where your latitude is. That's very, very important. Expect nothing and appreciate everything. Be grateful for the little things in my life or in your life and find inner peace. See, the gratitude starts when um, instead of starting with the problem, starting with some gratitude helps to leverage the playing field so I can be in tune with where I would like to go. If I'm not grateful for where I've been, where I've been blessed to go, then how am I going to be able to be prepared for where I need to be? Because if I haven't mastered my self acceptance and saying, "Hey, I'm grateful right the way my life is," I wanted to share a quick story with you. I've been blessed to travel. My wife and I, Angelia and myself, we've been blessed to travel. I mean, you know, and it's largely due because of her job and her position, and we travel as husband and wife, and we've been able to go some pretty cool places. And I want to thank God for that right now. I don't thank God publicly on this thing. I thank God for my family as well. So having gratitude for all this and not leaving people behind because you know the real truth of the thing is wherever we go we take our families, we take all the people who look up to us. We take the people on Facebook. Take the people that's in our circle, and we create some new circles because I haven't been traveling as much as Angelique has, but I have been able to go some places. So I built some relationships too. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for my health and strength. I'm grateful that I can put this video together and say some encouraging things. So if you don't like where you're at, it has to first start with acceptance, and from acceptance, some reality on what you need to do or not do, and change that. So, being grateful is for the little things in my life to find inner peace. because that's where the continuity starts. If I'm not happy, if I'm not at peace, then how can I get to where I want to go? Because it's difficult to build a new idea on a closed mind, and gratitude plays a big part in that because gratitude speaks when I talk, speaks when I walk, speaks when I treat other people, speaks when I'm especially when no one's looking. That's called integrity. That you want to be grateful and you want to show it in your attitude, your walk, and your talk. So it's very important to be grateful for the little things. And sometimes I have to admit I may be a little remiss in doing that sometimes, and I can get a little sidetracked with where I'm going, not being grateful for where I'm at. And I definitely, as we journey through this life, and life is not a destination, it's a journey. So as we are all on this journey, let us always remember gratitude speaks, and gratitude cares, and gratitude is in my attitude. Gratitude is shown in the way I not only treat myself, but I treat others. So it's very, very important to remember that. It says, number four, do your best and trust the process. The harder you work, the luckier you will get. Trusting the process, because as a human being, as a person who we want to almost guarantee, if that makes sense, that this move that I'm doing, this if I buy this tool, will it make myself better? If I decide to go and do some volunteer work, if I decide to work with this person or that person, will it yield the results I would like for it to? And I've been blessed to mentor and support some younger men. And one of the things I remember telling one that I've been working with the longest, he says, "You're in the hallway of life, sir." He said, What are you talking about, hallway? I don't understand. If you think about your life, it's the past, it's the present, and the future. And if you're in this hallway, imagine, like you're in a perplexed situation. You don't know whether to go left, right, open this door, close that door. One thing for sure, and two things for certain, that the past is done. It's where you've been. It's where you've come from. It's what you've acquired, what you've done, where you shared, where you lived, and the results that show. But like it may be a time when I'm ready for something new, I want to move forward. So what happens is, due to certainty, which some of us are addicted to or really like, is certainty. I'll do it as long as I can get this results. And the $10 million question is, what would you do right now if you know you could succeed 100% and it give you the life you desire? What would that be? What would it look like? When would you start and why? So it's imperative that I remember that, trusting the process is like, I'm not going to see all the steps, but I could tell you this: in the whole way of life, you're going to have to make a decision, or one will be made for you. So it's up to you. So if you're looking at these three doors, the past, the present, and the future, and you're stuck, because the future you haven't gotten to, the past is done. So walk through the door of the opportunity of the future, because as you walk through that door of that next opportunity, you won't know what's behind it until you make a decision. Decision has to be made. It's not going to make it on its own, and you're not going to make it on planning it. Your decision's not going to just come to fruition because, hey, I'm ready for it, but I don't want to risk anything. Risk taking is free. Staying the same, if you feel that's what you want to do, then, God bless. I wish you the best of luck staying the same. The world needs you, and we need you to trust the process and go for the gusto, because we can't take any of this stuff with us, as we say. And I'll say this as well as we move on to the next one, which is control yourself. Is that as I trust the process, I get more opportunity to trust the process. But if I never trusted the process at all, I haven't even gotten started, because I'm looking for a guarantee that doesn't exist. The only guarantee is that I will get a result, whether I like it or not. That's a whole nother subject. But at least to take the leap of faith and move forward is the biggest thing. If you do that, then you got an opportunity to learn and grow and trust the process, because the process is ongoing, and it's always going to continue with or without me. And if I'm in that particular process, that process is continuing upon me, because I kind of create the process to helping others and being of service. So finding out, how can I serve and how can I help others is an important thing. And trusting the process is, again, you're not going to have all the answers, but if you have a process, you can make tweaks along the way. This didn't work, that didn't work, so what do I need to do next? The next is control yourself, not others. Controlling others is a strength. Controlling yourself is power. Wow. Respond or react. That's what that says to me. Control yourself, not others. Controlling others is a strength. Controlling yourself is true power. And been forced to. I've been blessed. I won't say forced. Not forced. I've been blessed to be in the self-help community for quite a while now, for some decades, and I've been you can make a decision, or one, you don't have to make a decision, but one will be made for you with or without your permission. So, you can react or respond. Reacting is flying off my emotions, and I don't know how to control control my thoughts, and sometimes they do get the best of me, and I try to live in the solution and not the problem, because the problem exists whether I accept it or not. But I can live a better quality of life by being in the solution, and trying to be a better version of myself. Happiness is a choice, and peace can be part of that process. So, um, controlling myself definitely helps me to uh, be a better version of myself. And as I lay my head down at the end of the day, what did I learn from my behavior? Do I need to make changes? Do I need to make an amends or anything like that? Or do I need to make any other changes? So it's imperative that I remember that, and I do need to remember to control myself. I can't always control my thinking, but once I get a thought, and anyone gets a thought, you have to deal with it. Sometimes you might deal with it in a constructive way. Most of the time, it is, if I don't act out of character with it. But our thoughts do come. We have 50 to 60,000 thoughts a day. I've heard more, I've heard less. I don't know, but it's a lot that goes on. It's continuing, and it's things that I've done. The conscious, subconscious, superconscious. All of these play an important role in the decision making, and how I control myself and conduct myself will be the results that I see, and by the people that's closest to me, and people I have the most, I work with the most. And at the end of the day, when I look in the mirror, am I proud of where I've been and who I am and what I'm becoming? Because you're always going from, and you're going to, from one day to the next one if you're fortunate. So, controlling yourself and not others is very, very important, because controlling and manipulating situations, so we think. But I've learned that the situations and the things that I'm trying to control are actually controlling me. I heard something many, many years ago, and the speaker said, we're not raising our kids are raising us. I said, we're not raising our kids, and our kids are raising us. What you trying to say? What are you trying to imply? And I had to look at it, and raising kids it should make you a better person, because you want to be able to take care of them, and you want them to be able to take care of themselves. That's the goal, in taking care of them. And so, it does force you, when you are a caring person and caring parent, that you want the best for them, because they only have one time to grow up. But once they grow up, they've already, and see, when I grew up, there wasn't a lot of influence outside of church family and friends. Go to church, there's a group of people, usually families around, school, kids your own age, a lot of times, maybe sometimes older, but never, when I was growing up, there wasn't a lot of commingling with older kids, but, I'm quite sure it went on. and then you have your home life, who you're around with, who's your influencer. It can be aunts, cousins, other relatives that come in and out that you have a relationship with as you grow, and uh, be a part of who who you've become basically, and how you've grown into who you are based on your relationships and based on the societal norms that you've had to process, and what you've gone through. Some of us have had some great home life. Some of us haven't. Some of us grew up with our parents, and some of us didn't. So don't always think that because you grew up with mom and daddy, everybody does. Everybody does not. Believe me, it does affect them. And but in this life, you can take lemons and make lemonade. I've seen it happen, and as a matter of fact, I've experienced it. Seeing someone that is really close to me, my wife was able to do that, so I thought that was amazing. Grew up against all odds and made a heck of a person out of herself and doing some amazing things, and without mom and daddy and whoever they supposed to be. So she was able to persevere, and did not let it stop her from being brilliant. So thank God for the fact that no matter what happens, we keep going because God got our back, and I can say that whether you believe it or not, or good or the direction. And the last one we're going to talk about is learn to react less. Man, that's a hard one because sometimes we nosy. We want to mind our business and everybody else's. So if I can learn to react less and try to respond, that means I have a stop, listen, process, and then I can safely respond without stepping out of line or offending someone else. And that's the things like old habits die hard sometimes. It wanting to offer a solution where there was never a problem. You just want to listen, you know, want to just share where I'm at. I want to, sounding board. I know what to do. I just need to go through the rigors of, uh, getting through all the touchy feely stuff, or all the stuff that may not be what you like to deal with, but you have to deal with it so you can get to the other side. And we've been real fortunate, and as I was alluding to earlier, like when I grew up, there was maybe, I don't know, I think we had three channels in Waycross, maybe two. I don't. All I know is that TV went off at 12:01, and the flag was flying, and the Technicolors came out, and all. That's back in the day, so that's how it was. And but like now, I was having a discussion with my wife one day, and we were talking about how many changes of life we've had to live through: the industrial age, the technological age, the dot com, the computer, the all that, because it's like, like when there were strip malls like really popular and all that stuff, and we saw, factories being built and all this culture happening, and now we're in the AI age, and AI is everywhere, and it's part of who we are now. I don't have a problem with it. I just try to use it constructively to help me be a better version, and so I can communicate better with other people, and be a source of strength and support to those who may line up with where I'm going, where we're going together. So just stay strong, stay blessed by the best, because you are amazing, and never forget that. And with that, have a blessed day. Bye for now.